Hi everyone, this is Ruby Bhatia, television presenter and happiness life coach. Welcome to IIW's Reflections with Ruby Bhatia, a women-only podcast where we interview women from around the world who are excelling in various fields. Today we are proud to have with us Rekha Benjamin. Rekha is a seasoned HR professional who has over 20 years of experience in the corporate world, but then decided to move into the social work sector with her NGO. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rekha. Hi, Rekha.
Hi, Ruby. Thank you for sharing the invite. It's a great opportunity to be here. And oh, boy, did I even think that I would be talking to Ruby Bhatia on a podcast? Never did I imagine.
You know what? Rekha? It's RB versus RB today, right?
Oh, hey, yeah, that sounds nice. Yes, I like that. I like the sound of it.
Not versus. We are together. We're always
Okay.
on the same page. But Rekha, tell me, you've had 20 years of experience. You've worked with Fortune 500 companies. You've done so much in the corporate sector. First, tell me a little bit about that. What have you been doing when you were in corporate life?
Okay, so my journey with the corporate life was completely HR, truly HR in terms of deep exposure with people, management, systems, and organization growth. The role was very stable. It was a good learning curve, and I built my huge HR network over there. 20 plus years of HR experience is quite good, and it's very well established. So the journey has been extremely good so far in the corporate world. Based in Chennai, and then I began moving around a little bit here and there outside India and within India. So it kind of gave me a good exposure in terms of communicating with people of different mindset and build my network. So far, yes, it had been a great journey with HR, and then it was recently 12 months back that I took a retirement, saying that okay, enough of HR and corporate world. Let me try and do something and contribute something to the society.
My gosh, that's very bold. I must say that's a very bold decision.
Oh yes. And stepping away from corporate life wasn't easy. It meant leaving a familiar comfort zone, very good certainty, and a good bank balance. But what I wanted to do in terms of creating the impact was something that was missing when I was doing. And I thought, okay, this impact may not come with this, but maybe in a calling for a social contribution. So that's how I always felt throughout when I was working with the corporate as well, because we always have CSR activities, and there was some bit of a calling saying that, okay, there should be something that I should do myself as well. So that's
wow.
where
So you left it all to pursue your inner soul call of
yes.
making a contribution to humanity. And then you started your NGO?
Yes, I started my NGO, and I think it was more of the family values as well, that kind of the family we inculcated from the family in terms of all those generations where my family was doing a little bit of social charitable work here and there. So I think that kind of imbibed me throughout, and that was the calling for me to get into this full time and see where it takes me. The shift was very dramatic. I moved from boardrooms to villages, then from policies to people, then performance reviews to real life resilience, where I met women with extraordinary strength, women who, given the right skills and support them, can transform not only the lives but the entire community. So this is something that I saw in the last 1 year, and then I said, okay, this is my calling and I have to get into this, and it's now or never. And that was my calling, and that's how I ventured into it 100% full time.
Okay, so that led to the birth of your NGO, and it's a long name. How do you say it? Can you say it once for me?
Okay. It's called Saranalayam. Saranalayam is a Tamil word.
Saranalayam. Okay.
Yes, Saranalayam is a Tamil word which actually means sanctuary, refuge. You take refuge,
Wow.
and that's what it actually means. So we wanted to be that sanctuary for the underprivileged and the destitute. So we thought that's.
So what do you do? What does Saranalayam do?
Saranalayam, when we started, it started 2 years back when we registered the trust, and we focused on old age care because there was senior care neglect in abandonment in India. It was rising with more number of people, more number of families that we kept talking to, and we thought, okay, let's start with senior care. And then what I did was I registered the NGO. I purchased 2 acres of land in a remote village. And then when we started building certain aspects of the land, we unearthed huge stones. Those stones were like huge. And what we did was, instead of breaking it or getting bricks and doing it, why not give opportunity to the local people and let them break the stones, let them earn a living, and then we use the stones for the building. And that's how we are building a home office, which is made of the stones that we unearthed. And
my goodness.
When we did that, there was another thought which came, because the wages for men and women were very different. And for an agricultural work, it's 200 to 250 per day. And for manual labor, it's around 300 to 500 per day. And what happened was, women were paid only 20 to 30% of that labor, which is very, very minimal. So the equal pay question came when the jobs are the same. Why the pay is different? So that's when the birth of rural women empowerment started. So we decided as a board, as a family, that it shouldn't be this. We should give them some kind of an employment opportunity where these women can actually do something creative, have an identity, dignity, and then kind of, say that, hey, I created this, I did this. And that's how we started the Rural Women Empowerment. So what we do right now is these ladies make soy wax candles. So we started very slow. So the last 4 to 5 months, the women are being trained to make candles. It's all handmade small batches, and we have variety of soy wax candles. And we've not stopped them from doing any other work. So they do their household work, they do the farming, and in the free time, like twice or thrice a week, whenever they get free, they get together and give me a day, say, why don't you come over? So then I go meet them, and then we sit together and we work on candles. So that's how the work culture has brought up to date now.
And so that's what is called Panda Products, right?
Yes. And it's a micro-scale initiative. It's an all-women-led initiative. So we said, okay, let's start into a business line so that this becomes a non-profit organization in future for these women for fair wages, and then a considerable amount can go into the main NGO and feed it. So that's how we developed a micro-scale enterprise, saying that it's to teach women with craft skill and employment. And we'll be focusing only on rural women at the moment. So we want to make sure that, we empower them, give them the confidence, and, make them create something beautiful. That's how we started the Panda Products.
Okay, so we have so many women from around the world watching this podcast. What would you like to say to them, and how can they help you in your venture?
Okay, my shout out to women all over is, if you have the calling of, you want to contribute something to women cause or something, go ahead and do it. And people who listen to the podcast, not everybody will listen or absorb it. Let's say one person might talk to another person, say, you know what, I heard the podcast and this is what this lady does. So this woman can transfer the message, and out of this entire lot, maybe one person can take the initiative of saying, okay, let me go visit a village. Let me see what they do. Let me contribute an amount, or let me give them the knowledge so that they can do something better. So I would say that, stand together as women, empower women, and always remember that, rural women are not easy to, they are not the kind of women that we come from the cities. They are more intelligent, far more intelligent, and they're far more skilled, and they talk to nature, they understand nature, they understand science much better than us. So we need to empower them, handhold them, and stand together as women.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had with us today on the show NGO called Saranalayam. Did I say it right?
Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
And and they have Panda Products, which you can buy to support underprivileged women or rural women who are trying to make a livelihood through this avenue. So thank you very much, Rekha, for everything that you're doing, and full support from IIW around the world. Okay, women, I've got you there. So
yes.
Thank you very much for being on the show, and wish you all the best in everything that you're doing.
Thanks, Ruby. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for your time as well. Thanks so much to being part of this.
You'll get more information on Rekha Benjamin and everything that she's doing in the caption. And thank you all for watching IIW's Reflections with Ruby Bhatia. If you would like to appear on this podcast, do contact us. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.